This is Boxing Tickets NI. We're here at the launch press conference of Crocker Donovan. Today we joined the first time in 2025 with a hammer, Padraig McCrory. Eddie obviously has confirmed you're going to be on the card. He's saying you're going to fight a top UK fighter. Tell me more, Paddy.
I knew there was conversations about being on the card, but I wouldn't say that I'm definitely on it. If I was definitely on the card, I'd have been sitting there today, and I wasn't. So there's still a few conversations to be had. It's a big name in the UK. It's a very hard fight, but a fight that gets me excited.
Trying to think of obviously who's not in action. Obviously, is a big name at super middle, big name at light heavyweight. Like give us a wee bit more of a clue.
At the minute, it's cruiserweight. No, I'm joking. It's not at my like middleweight.
Middleweight then.
Middleweight.
Cut a leg off.
Light heavyweight.
There has been obviously a few opponents obviously that have been planned. Like, I think the initial talk was you were going to be in a big Irish domestic fight, but it doesn't seem to be. You know, I'm not sure if you obviously want me putting it out there, but obviously it looked like there was going to be the potential of obviously a huge domestic fight for you with huge ramifications.
Yeah, there was conversations about fighting. I was offered I was told two names that we were going to try and fight, and both didn't come off. Both very understandable. One, if he sits still, he probably gets like a world title fight, and the other is inactive, and I don't know what he's going to do next. So both had, I think, were offered the fight. I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm just asked my own questions. But yes, there was two names that I was offered, and I agreed to both. Probably agreed to both without even knowing numbers. But now we're here, and I'm eager to fight on the card. I just need to get things right. Like for me, I'm at a stage now where when I fight, it's a critical fight because of my age, of what happened 2 fights ago in my first defeat. Listen, and I always try to be real with myself, and be a realist. So we'll see what's next. Hopefully it's March the 1st. Hopefully we can get the fight that we're looking at, that we spoke about. It's a very hard fight, but I'm excited about it.
The one fight that was turned down was obviously Conor Wallace. Obviously, he's ranked number 2 with ABF. He's probably saying you may be too much of a threat. You know, obviously with him trying to protect that ranking to get a world title fight. Obviously, but to give him a chance to come fight back home as well. So I guess that's one you're still going to be looking for. Obviously, maybe down the line.
If I win this fight, it'll put me as a name in the light heavyweight division. Again, I can drop down if I want. I fought my last fight at 171, which is probably in the middle of both weights. So yeah, that fight's, I think it's always there. As I said, if he sits still, he probably gets a big fight anyway. But I hear he's going to fight at the end of March. Logistically, I don't think it made sense to fly me to Australia because of cost and not being ranked at light heavyweight. So really, does that fight make sense? I don't know. But for him, does it make sense? I don't know. For me, it makes perfect sense. So that's a fight. If I win my next fight, we could revisit.
Obviously, amongst all that, you're obviously going to promote your first card. You know, your fighter, manager, now promoter. Obviously, you're going to have your first fight card. Obviously, Hammer Boxing in the Devenish in April. You probably, in some ways, you're probably having to put some of that in the back burner.
Listen, it's with the help of the people that I have around me, the likes of Jimmy Conlan, and my wife, and others who are involved in boxing, like in the background. I don't need to put it in the back burner. It doesn't take up like much time. I have 8 to 10 names. It's just nailing down how much fights I'm actually going to have and how much fights I actually need. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be on April 5th at the Devenish. We tried to make a few fights, and some of the people ended up on this card. Some of the people ended up on the other 2 cards that are like in early February. So that was a bit of a worry, and I had to rethink of what I was going to do. But I still think we can get a good card going, some good names, keep people active, get some debutants with Jack McGivern. I would love to get him on this card, but everyone wants on this card. It's probably the most excitable card, like in Belfast from the front desk. So Jack McGivern will probably debut on that. and a few guys are fighting again early February, March time. So it's just about waiting it out. It is a bit more stressful than just managing somebody, but I'm looking forward to it.
As a venue that holds a lot for you as well, your early days, the Devenish was sort of probably got you to the stage, it took you to the next level. A lot of memories in the Devenish for you there. So obviously, what a place for you to promote your first card as well.
Yeah, it's a great venue. Fighting there, it's low ceilings, it's loud. When it's packed, it's a great venue. I work just above it. I still work. I work just above it. The Conlan brothers, Jim, David, and Martin, they're all backing me as well. They're giving me what I need to get the card off the ground. So with their help as well, it makes things easier. Not as much stress about sorting everything out. But what a venue! And if we get the crowd, if we get the right fights, it'll be a great night.
Obviously, Gerard Hughes back in action in this card. He obviously has his struggles the last few months with obviously medical issues. You've obviously had you've that friendly relationship as well. It was tough times for him. Is he probably in bonus territory now where he was given, his the license taken off him with medical grounds. He's got it back, so it's probably going to reinvigorate something in him where he's on that bonus territory already.
Yeah, he's changed teams. He's now with Andy Lee, who is a great coach, and it's the fight that he wanted. And thankfully, we had a conversation down in Galway with Jamie and stuff, and we were able to get the fight on this, and I think it's a great fight. Obviously, the first fight, there's loads of controversy, and a fight that most people thought that Rudy Farrell win. Gerard showed a lot of toughness. I think he's improved, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's a great fight for the card. It's a great fight for both of the lads. As you've seen today, they're sitting up on a stage with Hearn and the guys from Matchroom Boxing. So it's a fight that I'm excited about. Obviously, if I'm on the card on the same night, I'll probably not be able to get as involved as I would like to. But we'll hopefully have another fight on it as well. Again, we've talked about it. It's, from what I know, he's on the card, but he has stuff to do first, and that'll be announced in due course.
That'll be Mr. Theo Allen, who obviously fights in the BBC card on the 1st of February. What a platform that is, obviously terrestrial TV. I don't know when the last time, BBC, I think before COVID, they obviously done the Ulster Elites, but what an atmosphere for him, obviously what a platform. I guess it's fantastic for his career to start off.
Yeah, listen, I think he's had a great start to his career. He's had the SSC twice, and now he's had the Ulster Hall, thanks to Mark Dunlap, BBC, terrestrial TV. It's a great platform for him, and then potentially walking on to a DAZN show. So it'll be interesting when he's asked to go on the small hall shows to see where he's at. But he's a down the earth lad, and what's a bonus for him is he sells a lot of tickets. So that's why people want him on these cards. Ideally, I would have got Jack out in a 4-rounder. We're looking to step Theo up to 6. It's a 4-round slot from what I gather. Ideally, it would have been I would have Jack, but they know Theo's selling power. Jack hasn't made his debut yet, so unfortunately, that's what they asked for. And unfortunately for Jack, obviously, I got to give Theo the best opportunity as well, and he's got this, and I've been really impressed with his first 2 performances, and I think he's a really exciting future.
You obviously said about building them relationships before, obviously as you get into the management, that shows the pedigree of obviously where you're at, and ahead of promoting your first show that you're able to get Theo these opportunities. That shows a lot about you, but that's going to boost your power, I guess, when it comes to other people looking to sign for you as well.
Well, I could have not said anything to him and tried to keep him for my own show to sell tickets, but that's not the person I am. I'm still a fighter, and I know that the power of getting opportunities like this, fighting on cards like this, getting the promotion on cards like this is massive, and I would never hold a fighter back. I try to be as open and as transparent as I can. I've had a lot of help from Jamie. He obviously has a good relationship with Queensbury, with Matchroom. Mark Dunlap now has something going with the BBC, so it's going to benefit me, and I get on well with them all, and thankfully I feel like I have a good relationship with them, and I feel like I'm a likable person as well, so I can only benefit us.
2024 was sort of, I guess, a mixed bag for you. Obviously, you took your first defeat. You bounced back. One thing I want to say is, how did you survive that punch in the first round? And obviously SSE last time out. Like, I looked at it afterwards and I didn't realise how big of a punch it was. Like, how did you survive?
It was flat in the chin, and in fairness to him, he could punch. But I think a bit of experience from the Berlanga fight helped me. Staying calm, not fighting when I didn't need to fight, and being cagey. I don't get hurt very often, and unfortunately, my last two fights, I was buzzed my last fight, and I got dropped in my fight before that. So that's what happens when you get at this level of boxing. We're all big lads, but I think the experience from the Berlanga fight, from his experience and his power and what to do in them positions, stood by me.
Well, 2025 now, and obviously your first fight going to be on this card. Like, where do you see yourself as like you keep going until maybe you come up short again? Like, how long do you see yourself having left in the game? Like, we're seeing Big Stevie and Tommy there, where they're saying winner stays on sort of thing. Like, where do you see the rest of your career sort of with that?
This is the conversations that I have to have with myself. I've been told about a fight on this, but again, it has to make sense. I gotta think worst case scenario as well. I gotta think, if I get beat, what happens? Where'd I go? And that's a conversation that I'll have if it ever comes. But I'm looking forward. If this fight happens, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good name. It's a guy that's boxed for a world title recently. It's a guy who's fought on the biggest of cards, and it's a guy that I've watched and I thought he's really good, and I might have the opportunity to fight him. So, if I ever get beat again, I got to sit down and have a deeper conversation with myself. I have 3 kids in the house, and they are more important to me than boxing. I do this to help, provide for them, is to give them a better life, to make them happy. I don't do it for much else. I enjoy the sport. I enjoy boxing, and that's why I'm doing my own shows. I'm doing my own thing outside of my own career. But a conversation I'll have with myself if it ever happens again, but hopefully not.
Well, look, it's great to get a catch up. Obviously, hopefully, by the time this interview comes out, hopefully your opponent's confirmed. But thanks for giving us some trivia questions to try and work it out. I think I have an idea. I'll maybe talk to you off camera about it. But great to get a catch up. We'll look forward to obviously fight week and seeing you once again.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Paddy. Thank you.